today we are going to continue learning what we learned yesterday, and that is how to turn a fraction into a decimal and how to turn a decimal into a fraction. So I need you to remember your place value. Do you think you can do that? So let's remember, I have a pretend decimal, 2.34, and I need you to tell me what place value my 3 is in. Raise your hand. What place value is my 3 in? Edwin?
The 10?
Not the 100. Can you help on the body? Not tens, but the tenth. Can you say that? Tenth. My 4 would be in my 4. The what? Hundredths. Can you say hundredths?
Hundredths.
So I have my tenths. Ooh, my mic's about to die. So I have my tenths with THS on the end, and then I have my hundredths. Okay. What place is my 2 in?
One.
My ones. So I have my ones, my
Tenths.
and my hundredths. So if I were to ask you, I'm going to erase and test you. What place value is my 7 in Caesar? Hundredths. Good. What about the 6 value? Tenths. Good. I want you to look at your packet, and it asks what decimal name names the shaded part of the grid. So we have a grid. How many total pieces are in our grid?
5.
Not
10.
5, 10. There are 5 shaded pieces, but we're looking at the whole. How many holes are shaded? And there are 10.
Now there's 7 shaded.
So if I have 5 out of 7 that are shaded, and if I wrote that as a fraction, it would be 5 out of 10. What's 5 out of 10? It's a benchmark fraction. A half. Good.
Oh.
Thank you. So I have 5 tenths. 5 tenths. Circle the answer choice that represents this as a decimal. And remember, we've been doing this in our word. So circle the answer that you think would be 5 tenths on your paper. 5 tenths. Okay, Cesar. What is it?
0.5.
0.5 is correct. So your 5 is in your tenths place, and we're talking about 5 tenths. Why don't you try doing number 2 by yourself? This one you need to notice your grid is not broken into 10 pieces, but it is broken into
9.
how many pieces? No, look at the entire grid. How many total pieces are in our grid? The little, that's 100. That's 100 little boxes. If you were to go and count them, that would be 100 total boxes. Okay, so you can just count yourself. Okay, so we're looking. If I were to count how many rows of 10, how many rows of 10 are on my packet? Let's look. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And then I have to count my ones. 81, 82, 83, 84. Good. So I'm looking for 84 over 100. But they didn't give me a fraction, so I'm going to write one. My mom keeps telling me. So you have 84 over 100, but you need to write this as a decimal. Raise your hand. What is my decimal for 8400? Amani? 0.84. Good. So make sure you have an answer choice that looks like this. Do we have an answer choice?
Yes.
We do. So your answer should be
C.
I want you to try numbers 3 and 4 by yourself. Okay? So try doing numbers 3 and 4 by yourself, and then we will go over it. You finished? Okay, so let's look at number 3. What is the word name for the decimal? Well, if you look, I have 2 grids. One of them is the entire thing is shaded, but then I have another part. And how many pieces are in my grids? How many total pieces? Total, not shaded, but total pieces. There's 10. So I'm looking for 1 whole and 3 tenths.
Mr. Charles.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, can you pick up the phone just a minute?
So I have 1 whole and 3 out of 10. Okay, what does that sound like? Do we have an answer choice that looks like 1 and 3 tenths? Look on your paper. Do I have 1 and 3 tenths?
B.
B. Now, why wouldn't it be 1? What would 1 and 300ths be? Could you describe what that would look like? It would be one of those grids where it was broken down into 100 little blocks. Good. Let's look at number 4 that you did. Which digit is in the hundredths place in the decimal? So I have 1.73. Which number is in the hundredths place?
B. 3.
B, which is 3, would be correct. 3 is in the hundredths place. What place value is the 7 in? What place value is the 7 in?
10.
Is in the tenths. Remember to add the THS tenths. Why don't you try doing 5 and 6 by yourself? Oh, you did it already? Just wait 1 second, let the boys finish. Let's look. Number 5 says which decimal is 3 and 900. What is and? What is and? It says and 300. And is like a, not a comma, but a, if we're talking about decimals, and would actually be a,
Dot.
like the decimal point, a dot. So I'm going to write it as I read it. Which decimal is 3? And we said and is like my decimal point, right? That'd be like and 900. So am I going to put my 9 in my tens place or my hundredths place?
100.
My hundredths. It's my hundredths place because it's asking for 9 hundredths. So it would be like this. If I were to put it in my tens, that would be 3 and 90 hundredths. Or 9 tenths, because it would be the tenths place. It just depends what they're asking. Does that make sense? Okay. Which decimal has an 8 in the tenths place? So I'm looking at the decimals that they gave me. I want you to put your finger on the answer choice that has an 8 in the tenths place. Put your finger on your answer. We're looking for the tenths place. And which one did you find? A was correct because we had 1.84. So my 8 would be in my tenths place. What place value would the 4 be in?
Hundreds.
One hundredths. Hundredths. Okay, let's see what the back is. Okay, the back is asking you to do some of the same material. Why don't you take a moment and work independently? I want you to try and do this by yourself. If you have a question, you may raise your hand. I'll give you a few more seconds to finish up. Finish that one. You finished? Let's look. Which decimal names the shaded part of the grid? Edwin, what did you find? Which number?
7.
7/10 or 7/100?
7/10.
Tenths, because if you look, it's broken into 10 separate pieces. 7 of them are shaded, so 7/10. And what answer choice is that?
D.
D is correct. Make sure you have your 7 in the correct spot. Good. Good. Okay. Number 2, which decimal names the shaded part of the grid, Yair? 0.38, or we can say that 38 hundredths. Remember, it's in the hundredths place, so we would say 38 hundredths. If you were to count all of those little squares, you would see that there were 38 out of 100. Number 3, Lonnie, I have to find which decimal names the part of the grid that is shaded. So make sure you have that it is 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 100. So that would be the same as saying like 500ths, right? So 500ths. Which answer choice?
A.
Did you fix it? Did you see what you did?
Yeah.
So which answer choice do you think is correct? A. Make sure your 5 is in the right place. I'm glad that you fixed that. So make sure you have your 0.05. Your 5 is in your 100th place. Now, if we had 0.5 instead, that would be like saying 50 out of 100. And that's a big difference, isn't it? Where we went from 5 and then we had to jump all the way up to 50. So make sure you think about that when you write your answers. Number 4, in a decimal, our decimal is 72. .49. Which digit is in the tenths place? So I have my tens, ones, tenths. This is the tenths place. What number is that? 4. And we need to find an answer choice. Which answer choice was 4?
B.
B. B is correct. Okay, this one I feel like is a little bit tricky because we have to remember how to write a decimal when they give us the word form. And remember, what is and again?
Dot decimal.
A decimal point. Good, or like the point. So I'm gonna, as I read it, I'm just gonna kind of write it, which is 60. So 60 and 400ths.
C.
So is my 4 gonna go in where A should go or B? Where should my 4 go? It's saying 100.
Oh, B.
It should go here where B is. So you should have 4, and that would just be easier.
Yeah.
Okay. So So that is answer choice A. Good. You have A. Good. G. Good. We have a few more minutes. Why don't we flip the page? Okay. They are going to ask you to look at a number line. First, I want to show you how you would read this as a decimal. It's kind of tricky, so I need you to pay attention. They're giving you a number line. And I have one. And then 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 2. So I have a number line. And if they're asking me to write this as a decimal, am I going to look up here? As a decimal, I would have 1 and this would be 1.1, 1.2, I get right up there, 2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2. Then we would start all over again. If I had another line where I had 2 right here, and I had all these odds, then I would go to 2.1, 2 point, and so on and so forth. Good. So on the number line in your packet, it says which letter represents 1.6. So look, if this was it, I have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So I need to find a letter that is on this place on my place line, number line. What letter is there?
H. F.
You have to read on your packet. Look, 1.1,
Well,
1.2, 1.3, 1.4. E is on 1.4. 1.5, 1.6, which would be F. And it's asking us for 1.6. So your answer should be B. F. Good. Same thing with number 7. Which decimal does point J represent? Point J. Let's count. I have 0.6. So instead of having a hole, you wouldn't go to 6.7. Look. If this is 0.6, then I would have 0.61, 0.62, 63, 64, 65. So I'm going to go all the way. We actually passed 0.7 on your number line. The next number beside it would be what, Yaya? Look, we passed 6, we passed 7. That would be 7 point. No. Remember, look, if I'm at 0.6, my number right beside it would be 0.61. You see what I'm saying? So then they start counting up by 1. So 0.6, 0.61, 0.62. What would come after that? 3, 4. So look, we have 0.7, then we would have 0.7. 1. Good. So what is J? Where is J?
7.1.
71 hundredths, or you could say 0.71. Do we have an answer choice that matches that? Good, B. So I would put B. Okay, I want you to shade the grids that they gave you. They're both 100, so 100 total little pieces if you were to count. For grid A, you need to represent 0.4, which is 40 hundredths, or 40 out of 100. So why don't you shade that one first? Not 4, but 40, so you would have to be 40 out of 100 because it's in the hundreds place. I know the 4 is in the tens place, but remember, you have to pretend that there is an imaginary 0 on the end. So that's like saying 40, not 4. finished A, you can do B. B is 72 hundredths, so that would be like saying 72 out of 100. Let's see what you find. Okay, let's see how you did. In your first grid, it was 40 hundredths, so that means you should have 40 out of 100, not 4, but 40. And I see that you all had that one good. B said 72 hundredths, so that would be like doing 72 out of 100, not just 7, not just 2. And I see that. Good. Yes. Good. So you did that correctly. So you will also be doing this for your homework tonight. So make sure you remember that you will be doing this for your homework. And then you may pass your packets. You can just sit down, sweetheart. Thank you. You will pass your packets to your whiteboards and edges. Will you hit our little red button? Will you hit our little red button?